you a fan of the manga or anime Demon Slayer and you've been really wishing you could find a light novel that gave you all those same feels? Well, you're in luck because it's here. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Justus R. Stone here with a review of Sword of the Demon Hunter. This one is written by Motoo Nakanishi and it's released in English by 7 Seas. If you want to pick up a copy, I'll have a link in the description down below. Now, Sword of the Demon Hunter follows main character Jinta, who when he's young, 5 years old, he takes his younger sister Suzune and escapes from their home because his father is incredibly abusive, particularly towards Suzune. As the two youngsters wander out into the rain and into the dark, they are eventually found by a swordsman who offers to take them in. He takes these two young children back to his home in a small village, and there they meet his daughter Shirayuki. Now, this swordsman takes the two kids in, and the story for the most part continues when the kids have grown and Jinta is now 18 years old. At the age of 18, Jinta has become the Shrine Maiden Guardian. Now, this small village that they live in is a village that develops iron, and so fire is a really important element to them. And so they actually have a shrine that is dedicated to their local goddess, and in order to keep the goddess appeased, there's a shrine maiden who remains in the shrine all day, every day, offering prayers to the goddess. Now, Jinta, one of his duties as a Shrine Maiden Guardian is to protect the village against evil spirits and demons. One day, Jinta's out hunting demons and he comes across one, but it's not like any demon that he's ever met before. In fact, this demon is kind of talkative. And he tells Jinta that the reason that he's there is because history is about to be made. Eventually, he tells Jinta, the demon lord, the god of demons, will rise and give power and domain to all demons. And his rise begins in this village, in this moment. And what is Jinta going to do? And how is he going to protect the Shrine Maiden? How will he protect the people he cares about, particularly his younger sister Suzune, who he once gave up so much for? Sword of the Demon Hunter is, as I said, really going to appeal to fans of Demon Slayer. I mean, aside from just the fact that it's obviously got demon killing as part of the story, it really has that same sense of tragedy as well as hope, that idea of protecting family, the idea of protecting found family. It speaks to all of those themes. It also speaks very much to the theme of why does someone carry a sword? Why does someone wish to defend? And why does someone kill sentient living other creatures just for the sake of protecting those he cares about? At its heart, Sword of the Demon Hunter is a really good book because it starts talking about these kind of things. It is not much again like Demon Slayer, it is not a black and white. It is not as simple as demons are purely evil and therefore are the natural enemies of humans and we never have to feel bad about killing them. In fact, there's quite a number of times where there are some very obvious parallels being drawn between Jinta and the demons that he slays. There's also quite a bit of good character development here, particularly I would say of Jinta and Shirayuki, which is the daughter of the swordsman who takes in Jinta and his sister Suzune. Obviously, Shirayuki and Jinta and Suzune, they're all around the same ages. They basically grow up as siblings. And so there's this very close connection between the three of them. And in fact, it's their relationship with the three of them that really drives a lot of the narrative in this first volume. And so there's a lot of development in terms of these characters, in terms of who they are and how they view themselves and how they view their function within the village, both to good and bad ends. Overall, this was a really strong book that I have to say I felt reading it was written much more as a novel as opposed to a light novel. It really avoids a lot of the typical tropes. It avoids a lot of the eye-rolling type of cliche stuff that we get in a lot of light novels. The only real complaint that I would have about this book is that it is incredibly predictable. If you have watched Demon Slayer, if you've pretty much read just even 5 different light novel series, watched at least 5 or 6 different anime series. Anyway, what I'm saying is if you have interacted with even a moderate amount of Japanese popular media, you will probably see most of the plot points before they actually happen. And I will say possibly that the biggest credit and praise that I can give this book is that even though that was the case, I was still enjoying it. I still was eager to get through it and see where things ended up. And even though I felt like I really was sure what was going to happen, I was eager to get through and see if I was right and to see just how that kind of played out. So really a good book, solid, hits that real sort of period piece type media. Now it's really hard to avoid the comparisons between Demon Hunter and Demon Slayer. Although I will say that when I looked into this, the author of Demon Hunter started posting their story online back in like 2013, whereas Demon Slayer didn't start publishing until 2016. Now, admittedly, Demon Hunter didn't actually get picked up as a light novel until 2019. So, you know, I would say maybe the Japanese publication of it, like the actual print publication, was maybe driven by the popularity of Demon Slayer, but the author of this one was not riding the coattails of Demon Slayer. This was their original work that they came out with. So, you know, it's so often the case that we can look at certain books, especially in like light novels and online web novels and stuff, and you're kind of like, yeah, you clearly were heavily inspired by this, and so we can draw the parallels. At least in this one, easy to draw parallels, but at least in this case, we can say most definitely that the author of Demon Hunter was not just jumping on board of the demon hype train. So overall, Sword of the Demon Hunter, I can highly recommend. I really enjoyed this one. Like I said, it really had a good tight story, if not a little bit predictable. It did kind of tick me off a little bit that Seven Seas, their description of the book, as actually like a pretty big spoiler in it, and I really wish they hadn't put that because I was expecting it, which that was probably the one thing that would have been like, okay, it was kind of predictable, but it was right near the end, so it would have been less predictable if I hadn't read that one bloody thing about what Seven Seas put about this book. So that was a little bit frustrating, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, like I said, doesn't matter. Still thought it was really solid, and I'd be really interested in actually reading the future volumes of this one. Just taking a quick peek. So currently there's 13 volumes been released in Japan. I do believe it's complete, like the web novel's complete. So I don't know whether the 13th is the last volume of it in terms of actual novel publication, but just gives you an idea of how long this one has to go. So those are my thoughts about Sword of the Demon Hunter. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Lets YouTube know that I'm here. Feel free to leave your comments down below. Is this something that you're into, or have you really liked Demon Slayer and you're kind of hyped to see that there's a fairly decent light novel that, you know, can scratch that demon killing itch? Or have you read this one? I mean, I know that this came out actually a little bit ago, a couple months ago, so I know that some of you have probably had the opportunity to check it out. What were your thoughts? Just keep them spoiler free for the sake of everybody else. I appreciate it. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, bye-bye for now.